Welcome, Cancer, to your love reading for the week of March 9th to the 15th of 2020. So we do have a full moon in Virgo, and that is going to be on Monday, and it's a super moon happening in your, I believe, your third house of communication. It's within your immediate environment, short trips around the neighborhood, getting things done, but also problem solving. So to me here, there's a desire to communicate, but I feel Monday and Tuesday that there may be a circumstance that you are dealing with where death is concerned. There may literally be something going on around that time of transition. So a lot of times full moons or new moons brings about transition where people pass away and move into a different dimension, but also energy of the past literally kind of haunting you as well. And it's almost like you are moving on, or someone else has moved on from you, and you know the reality of that. And there is a conflict surrounding the connection, but you also want that person's attention, but you're also not opening up to them in a romantic way. Like you're keeping your emotions, you're biding your time and keeping that away from them, but also wanting that attention at the same time, so to speak. But I feel like you know that it's best to keep your composure because you feel like someone may be coming through, and there could be some kind of conflict there as well for many of you out there. Now, in a spiritual sense, to me, this is like someone who has left this world in a way, but sometimes they don't realize it. And that's what I've been trying to communicate to some people that I know that have gone through some kind of transition like that. But this is often leaving a relationship, moving on with it, but often really still clinging on to it because you're not really sure how to spiritually lead that relationship. So that's why I feel here, forgiving and learning. As you release and heal the past, you experience your love in present moments. And we have give your relationship a chance, work on your partnership. That is for some of you who are in a love relationship, or you're married to someone and you have these issues of conflict often, a whole lot. And as well, where someone that you're getting to know somebody new, but they are also dealing with someone from their past. You're wanting their attention, but they still have another person that they're focused on or trying to move on from. And there's conflict around that because you never know how someone else's ex-partner or what may respond to them getting to know someone new. So that's how I kind of see that in a way. And sometimes it is jumping to certain conclusions. And, even though there are, different stories here, that I'm picking up, you can kind of relate that to what's literally going on with you and how you have dealt with someone. But I feel here for many, this is kind of moving on, trying to let go. And for some of you, you're trying to work out some kinks with maybe a Scorpio, maybe a Pisces, and you have a fire sign here as well. But there's this, you can try to see how things might happen, but also when you know that there's no communication, nothing is really going on, I see that that's lacking. That this is, you're trying to do your best, but hey, it's going to be what it is. If the other person is not opening up, you know that this is some type of transition that's going on. All right, so that is going to be Monday, and a lot of possessiveness, a little bit of jealousy that might be popping up between you and that person. Sometimes these are natural things that happen when we're not feeling at our best, but they can always change. All right, so that's Monday and Tuesday. So Cancer, for Wednesday through Friday. Two of Wands in reverse, Ace of Wands, Six of Swords. And we have clarifying with the Temperance card, and then the Four of Cups in reverse. And the Temperance card tried to pop out in the very beginning of the reading. I placed it back, but I can always, that sense of that coming out, there's a lot of turmoil and a lot of stress. And sometimes it can be very extreme, where last week, there was an energy, good energy for Cancer. I hope that a lot of you did experience that good energy in different ways in your love relationship. Even if there was a lot of calm, that's great. Even if there was a lot of passion, physically being connected to them or around them. But here, there seems to be a reverse of that kind of energy, not in the extreme way but it's almost like I'm being on guard. Sometimes it's like opening up to somebody, getting close, but then being a bit paranoid or not really sure of how the other person is going to act or respond. So there does seem to be some issues with traveling or communicating there, energetically being on the same page as well. But also where we have new passion, it seems to be somebody new potentially for a lot of you, but you're still, because the other person might be a bit slow, there could have been a little bit of conflict verbally at times, with a conflict behind what you might be thinking about as well. But I feel like the energy is going to, it intensifies and then it goes down. It intensifies a little bit more because you're thinking about the renewed passion that you have with somebody that you've already known or somebody new these next few days. But them moving slow and then you losing your cool could also cause you to miss out on connecting with this person, because the passion that you might have, like literally being passionate about what you say and what you feel emotionally, it can come through, or sometimes it can come through as well, where you overdo it by drinking, by smoking or drugs or something like that. It causes you to have some kind of issues with conflict, or you can get sick or something, whatever it might be, but then it causes you to miss out on an opportunity with someone. So I feel that you have to take it easy with whoever you might be dealing with, because they may not be as fast as you. For some of you out there, that's how I kind of see this. So that is going to be for Wednesday through Friday. So new energy coming in. Keep your eyes open for new passion with somebody, maybe with a fire sign. It doesn't have to be. Sagittarius is there as well. That's who you could be losing your cool with, but it could be anybody. But that's how I kind of see a little bit of resentment that's holding you back for some, but then trying to be patient with maybe getting to know someone new, or a new, like a renewal in a relationship. All right, so that's Wednesday through Friday. So Cancer, for Saturday and Sunday, we do have two people showing up here. We have Temperance. Well, it's not really a person, but it's an angel in there. And we have the Knight of Pentacles. So I feel this is a slower energy as well, but I feel like this is an advice of what's happening to you. For a lot of you, something has happened repeatedly because of how you respond to somebody. If you're holding on to somebody that you have to let go of, and you've been getting the signs constantly, things are going to repeat. It's going to repeat over and over again, and it's a slower moving energy because it's like you're constantly looking at the past. So forgiving and learning. He's looking right at that card. As you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moments. Now, for some of you, there could be another person. It could be an earth sign that's constantly looking at you, and they constantly approach you, but you're not wanting to connect with them any longer. It could be anyone, like that. And I feel like this is the energy of healing, but I feel as well that you have to make sure that you're aware of how you might be responding to that person. If you're losing your cool with somebody, constantly going through, this is something that came through. I know of many people who have passed away, and they have, because they've been into conflict with somebody, and it got to an extreme level where there was, they'll talk to me and they'll tell me that they were in this fight with their ex-partner or lover or something, and they were stabbing each other, or they were and this is not to put fear into anybody, is to give you a perspective about how things repeat. And they get into these arguments and whatever it might be, they say certain things and they go out and fight and over and over again. And that person winds up in the hospital, and they're at the hospital over and over again, but they don't realize that, the universe can sometimes pop you into a different situation over and over again. You wake up and it happens repeatedly, and that person returns to you over and over again, and you're wondering why it's happening. It's because of the attachment that you have to the resentment and the response that you have, like losing your temper, getting into confrontation with this person. Even if they say something harsh to you, you go off and say the same thing, and there's arguments and the temperaments and things like that happen, and then these cycles happen, and repeatedly. And that's like healing as well, until you find a different way to respond to somebody. And even if they're provoking you and you still respond negatively, like literally physical altercations or whatever, arguing with them and not walking away from it and doing your best to do that, turn the other cheek, holding on to the past is going to keep you stuck. It's going to keep you in these cycles. And that's what I feel is happening with maybe a lot of you out there, just as an example of what I experienced from people that have passed away, but they've gone through something and it's a constant cycle and they don't realize it, but it's hard for them to move on. What are you doing with somebody that keeps them coming back into your life? Or are you responding to somebody, and vice versa, which keeps these things happening over and over again? So try to be cool. I feel like the weekend for a lot of you will be a slower energy, a bit of stress that's showing up there with temperance repeating here in reverse, but often healing and trying to do your best to let go of any energy here that holds you into. It's almost like the Wheel of Fortune comes through. Everything seems okay. It seems good, but it's another situation by giving you another chance to respond to that other person in a different way. Now, giving a chance doesn't mean always to start from scratch and start over to get the relationship going. You can be a partner with somebody, be cool or friends with somebody as well. That's a relationship as well. It doesn't have to automatically be a romantic, because you can move on and be friends with somebody, but letting bygones be bygones and moving on from the past, it just depends there on, how you're trying to connect to someone. So that's what I feel when it comes to this week's reading. I hope the messages did help out. I wish you the very best. And if you would like a private or personal reading, you can always come to me and by the email. All right. So have a good one.